Hey friends, today I'm going to try to do a mid-year freakout tag. Best book that I read in 2026, I would have to say it was The House of Eve by Sadiqa Johnson. Well, actually, Kindred by Octavia Butler. Best book I read 2026. Best sequel that I read, it would have to be in the Meant to Be series. That's with By the Book by Jasmine Guillory. And what's the one?
A few moments later.
The one with Julie Murphy. It's going to come to me. If the Shoe Fits. Yeah, If the Shoe Fits. That one was pretty good. I enjoyed that sequel. Even though you don't have to read one and one together, they just read like, it's a retelling of Disney stories. And one of them was Cinderella. The next one, it is Beauty and the Beast. The next one that's up to read, I think it is The Little Mermaid. I plan to read that one really soon. But it's like sequel, but not really sequels. The next question, it is 2025 new release. The best new release that I read this year would have to be the Misconnection by Tia Williams. Y'all know I love that book so bad. It was so good. It was really good. The most anticipated book that I have for 2026 would have to be Maisie Wood. This is by the lady who wrote The Reformatory. And that's coming out in September. But I might be fortunate or lucky and try and apply for an arc of that book. Can't wait for it to come out. Biggest disappointment for me this year would have to be Project Hail Mary. Y'all, it was way too science heavy for me. And then I caught myself going watch it in the movies, no content. Because I was just like, okay, let me go see what this thing, if the movie is better. I fell asleep. I watched a good bit of it. But I was dozing off in that movie, y'all. I was tired, I guess. So, Project Hail Mary, biggest disappointment. The biggest surprise of the year for me, I would say that book, Cutthroat. It was just like, girl, what? Yeah, that was a surprise how that book went from start to finish. And it was just like, okay, yeah, that was a lot. If you know, you know. Favorite new author of this year, it would have to be Tia Williams. I've been like deep diving in all of her books and I met her in person. And I plan on doing the same thing with Jasmine Guillory for the rest of the year because she has a book coming out in October and I think for the holidays. New fiction crush. It had to be Bo from By the Book. He's like the character of Beast from Beauty and the Beast. And he's just, yeah, he's a good book boyfriend, Bo. Even though he's grumpy, it's like Grumpy Sunshine, but it is kind of realistic to me in real life. So I like Bo. New favorite character. My new favorite character, I would say Julie Murphy's girl, Cindy. She was pretty cool. I liked her in that book. And I have been liking these cowboys for some reason. They have been a hit. Every cowboy that I read, I have not read a cowboy love interest that I didn't like in a book. A book that made you cry. I'm not a crier in books. I don't think I cried this year on nothing. Like, no, I ain't really cry on nothing. A book that made you happy. All the books that I read so far has made me happy except for one. And that is my book club book we just finished this week. I'll disclose that one. That one made me want to just, ooh. But most of the books that I read, they make me pretty happy. Most beautiful book that I bought a lot of beautiful books, but I'm thinking the newest beautiful book that I bought, I don't know if this is part 2 or part 1, but this is such a pretty book to me. And I bought this one and the sequel, I guess. I don't know which one is which. But these books are so pretty. Look at the edges and look how floppy the book is. And it's just a really, really pretty book. And I got some pretty books on my shelves. But just look at the details in this book. So pretty. In this paperback, but I do prefer hardcover books. But look at the back. They did their thing with this book. That's in my book haul. Yeah, that's the newest, prettiest, beautiful, most beautiful books that I have. For the rest of the year, my TBR list. Ooh, y'all. that is a whole nother story. I know for sure the books that I want to read, I don't know. I don't know. I have so many books that needs to be read, and I have so many unread books. I'm just looking around. I want to read The Paris Apartment. That was recommended by a friend. I need to read all of these arcs that I have. I have The Astral Library by Kay Quinn, Where Wildflowers Grow, Wild Love. I have so many books that I want to read. There's one about the tea shop or something that I want to read for fall. I have this book I just pulled out that I want to read, The Life and Death Parade. I have Louisiana Lucky. Pretty much all the books. Yeah. TBR, it's nonstop. It's growing. It's everything. Never Never by Colleen Hoover. I want to read everything. Quicksilver. We Were Liars. Family of Liars. Brandy's book, Phases. I want to read The Guest by Paris. B.A. Paris. Story of My Life. I want to read that one by Lucy Score. The list keeps growing. I have all these summer books that I want to read. The Summer of Broken Rules. What happened after midnight. And I just got a whole bunch of new books that I need to share with y'all. Yeah. So the books that I want to read, the TBR is TBR ring. It is a lot. Now, as far as like my reading, I just unhauled 20 books. So far this year, I read about 16,188 pages so far. And the maximum amount of pages that I read in the book was 570. And I think that was in the reformatory. The minimum amount of pages I read was 178 pages in a book. Now, my average rating for all these books, which I need to get up, is like a 3. So I do feel like I've been doing like 3-star rating. Like some book will be a 5, some will be a 1. I don't mind giving a book a 1. And the average of all my books that I read this year was about a 3. And so far I read 47 books. So I'm trying to hit 50 before June is over with. I'm in the middle of 2 books right now. I'm reading this book on my Kindle. It's called Yes, Chef. And this is by, I think, Kelly Grace or somebody like that. And it's an arc. I signed up for it, but it's okay. It's not bad. It's just if you like food and you're a foodie and you like to cook and you know a lot behind the scenes as a chef, it's very good. Yes, Chef. And I'm in the middle of Song of Achilles. And I'm not going to lie, I'm right in the middle. I'm on page 142. And this book was very slow. Like now it's like picking up. But it's good. It's just a very slow start. They like 9 years old when they first start. Now they're 16. And I'm just like, okay, come on. Keep it moving. I want to read. That's what I want to read. I want to read White Ivy. I want to read Giovanni's Room. I need to read The Scarlet Letter again. Block Party. I have so many on my 26 for 26. The books that I read this year, The Invisible Life, I read that book. I read a lot of books off my 26 for 26 so far. I think I read 16 books from that list. But I detoured through this list a few times because I had to read some books for BookCon. And I'm back on track with what I planned on reading for 26 for 26. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't know if I can handle a long TBR list because my mood changed throughout the year. And I got to read these certain books at certain times. If it's spring, if it's summer, if it's fall, if it's mystery. I just need to get back in routine on what I want to read. And I've been reading a lot of books that have been recommended to me for some reason. And that's why all my books are averaging out of 3 because I see why this person liked it and why they recommend it to me. But I need to read what I want to read. So for the rest of the year, not saying I'm not taking on any new recommendations because visually I do. When I see y'all posting about the books or y'all see y'all talking about them on Instagram, it makes me like say, oh, so-and-so was talking about this book and I need to go get that book. But I'm officially putting myself on a ban because I don't have no more space, no more room to put no more books after I do this last haul that I did with Book Outlet. Even though they sent me that coupon, y'all had 3 different orders. I ain't watching the other one. They sent me that coupon. I might give them to my friends because I can't even. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me how are you doing mid-year in 2026.